بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد أحبتي في الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسأل الله الكريم رب العرش العظيم أن يتولنا في الدنيا والآخرة. أحبتي في Allah, it's reported that Hasan Al-Basri, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahmatan wasiya, he stated, one who acts without knowledge is like the one who travels off the path. And the one who acts without knowledge corrupts more than he rectifies. So seek knowledge in a way that does not harm your worship, and seek to worship Allah in a way that does not harm your knowledge. For verily there were people, meaning the Khawaarij, who were extremists, who sought to worship Allah but abandoned knowledge until they attacked the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with their swords. But if they had sought knowledge, it would not have directed them to do what they did. And this was quoted by Ibn Abdul Barr in his book Jami' Bayan al-Ilm wa Fadlihi. Ahabati fillah, this athar as-salaf, this narration from our Salaf as-Salih, Ridwanullahi alayhim, specifically Hasan al-Basri, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahmatan wasiya, it shows us the importance of ilm, of sound Islamic knowledge. And sound Islamic knowledge comes from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and it comes from the Sabil al-Mu'mineen, meaning the path or the minhaj of the Salaf. And acting upon that knowledge is very imperative. It's imperative that we actually practice the knowledge we acquire. Knowledge is not just memorization. Knowledge is not just something on the tongue, but knowledge is practiced and implemented, and knowledge is memorized, and knowledge is understood. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man yuridullahu bihi khairan yafaqqahu fid-din." Whenever Allah wants good for a person, He gives them understanding of the religion. So Hasan al-Basri, rahmatullahi alayhi, he said, one who acts without knowledge is like the one who travels off the path, because the ignorant one doesn't know the correct way to go. The ignorant person could end up going to the right when they should have went to the left. Could end up going to the right and they should have went straight. And so it's very easy to travel off the path based on ignorance. And the one who acts without knowledge corrupts more than he rectifies. So how many people do we see? They have religious zeal. They're very eager to practice. But yet, they don't have knowledge. And so they end up doing yufsid akthar min yuslih. That they commit more sins and more problems and destroy more things than they do then they rectify. For example, when a person from the extremist of the Khawaarij, the Takfiris in contemporary times, when they cause fitna and destroy societies due to their dawah, due to their call to rebellion, due to their call for, their bloodthirsty call, that they end up causing more damage to the relations of the Muslims with other peoples. They end up causing more damage to the Muslim societies, destroying and taking Muslim lives, and they end up spilling blood, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. And the Prophet ﷺ said, يَقْتُلُونَ أَهْلَ أَوْثَانٍ وَيَتْرُكُونَ أَهْلَ أَوْثَانٍ يَقْتُلُونَ أَهْلَ إِيمَانٍ وَيَتْرُكُونَ أَهْلَ أَوْثَانٍ. The Prophet ﷺ said that they, meaning the Khawarij and those people who follow their way, that they kill the people of Islam and they leave and make comfortable the people of polytheism. And so this is their sunnah, and it's a sunnah based on ignorance. So when a person acts without knowledge, as Hasan al-Basri, rahmatullahi alayhi, stated, they corrupt more than they rectify. And that's why Hasan al-Basri then said, so seek knowledge in a way that does not harm your worship, and seek to worship Allah in a way that does not harm your knowledge. So seeking knowledge, talab al-ilm, is something which is azim in Islam. And we should seek knowledge in order to rectify our amal, our deeds, our actions, our ibadah, our worship. so that we're coming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, for verily there were people, and he was referring to the Khawaarij, who sought to worship Allah but abandoned knowledge until they attacked the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with their swords. So here he's talking about the Khawaarij because they rebelled and they were eager and they were known for doing a lot of worship, but they were not known for having knowledge and ilm of the Sunnah. So if you say that you're following the Quran, that means you're following the Quran according to your understanding, if you have left off the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, lastly, Ahabati fillah, Hasan Al-Basri, rahmatullahi alayhi, rahmatan wasi, he said, but if they had sought knowledge, it would not have directed them to do what they did. Meaning, if the Khawarij had gained knowledge of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sabil al-Mu'mineen, they would not have been directed to do ignorant things like attacking the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in and fighting the Sahaba to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in. And so this shows us that knowledge should be a beacon and a light for us and a source of guidance, not a source of misguidance. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.